All right, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to today's live. Like I said, we're going to start having consistent live sessions. Consistent live sessions every week. We're going to be having live sessions every week, and you're welcome to today's live session. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome to this Destiny. Destiny, I can see you. Destiny, how are you doing today? I'd like to know where you're joining in from. Where are you joining in from? What city do you reside in? And where are you joining in from? You're welcome to today's live session. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, we're going to wait for our guests. Today, we want to talk about needs and wants that will make you happy and make you have a peaceful marriage. Right. Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you. Joining in from the United States. Destiny, is good to have you here. It's good to have you here, all the way from the United States of America. All right, so today we want to talk about needs and wants that will help you have a happy and a peaceful marriage. A lot of people are not happy in their marriage. A lot of married people are not happy people. A lot of married people don't have peace. And if care is not taken, people will start seeing marriage as a curse. So we want to have this important discussion about how you can have and develop, you can meet your needs in marriage such that when your needs are met, you're going to be happy, right? Um, I sometimes describe marriage as simple as this. Marriage is about meeting the needs and the expectations of your spouse. That's one of my definition of marriage. Marriage is all about meeting the needs and the expectation of your spouse. If your marriage is going to be a happy one, if it's going to be a peaceful one, you and your spouse need to focus on meeting your needs. If husband is meeting the needs of wife and meeting the expectations of wife, and wife is meeting the needs of her husband and meeting the expectation of her husband, that's going to be a happy marriage. A happy marriage is a marriage where the husband's needs and expectations are met and the wife's needs and expectations are met. It's as simple as that. But the problem is don't a lot of people don't know that their spouse have needs. A lot of people don't know that their husband have needs. A lot of men don't know that their wife have needs. So people enter into marriage and are in marriage and their needs are not met. Their expectations are not met. And once your needs and expectations are not met, you are going to be dissatisfied in marriage. When your needs are not met, when your expectations are not met, you are going to be dissatisfied in marriage. As a matter of fact, the reason why you are unhappy right now in your marriage is because your needs are not met and your expectations are not met. So the fastest hack for you to have a satisfied and a happy spouse is to know the needs of the spouse and meet them. Know the expectation of your spouse and meet them. And that's the reason one of the things you can do this year, before this year runs out, is to sit with your spouse and have the needs as conversation. You need to ask your spouse, what are your needs? And how can I meet those needs? You need to ask your husband, what are your needs and how can I meet them? Husband needs to ask wife, my love, what are your needs and how can I meet them? Another question you need to ask is, what are your expectations and how can I meet your expectations? Marriage will be a disappointment if your needs and your expectations are not met. Marriage will be a disappointment if your needs and your expectations are not met. And it is very, very important that you take you know the needs of your spouse. All right, you know the needs of your spouse. Joy, please, if you are there, can I know why our guest is not here already? Joy, please, if you are there, can you just chat me up? Why is our guest not here already? Why? So now there are different needs, right? People have different needs. And sometimes the reason why, with every effort you are making, it seems like your spouse is dissatisfied. The reason is because you don't know their needs. And today, while I wait for our guest, I'm going to just talk about some needs of men and some needs of women. Women have certain needs. Men also have certain needs. And as a husband, you must understand the needs of your wife. And as a wife, you must understand the needs of your husband. One of the major complaints a lot of men have is that, coach, I provide for my family. I pay the bills. I don't know why my wife is not still happy. Coach, I work hard to take care of my family. I spend money on my family. I spend money on my wife. Why is my wife not happy? No matter the money you spend on your wife and the money you spend in your marriage, no matter the bills you are paying in your marriage, if you are not meeting the emotional needs of your wife will not be happy. No matter how much you spend, if the emotional needs of your wife are not met, your wife will not be happy. Right? Okay, please, Doy, ask him to join with his phone. Let him join with his phone if his laptop is not accessing the link. Right. So that is very, very important. Now, a lot of women also say, I gave birth to his children. I'm taking care of his children. I'm cooking for my husband. I take care of the house. I wash, I clean. But I don't know why my husband is not satisfied. Your husband will not be satisfied if you are not catering for his emotional needs. A lot of people neglect the emotional needs of their spouse. And that's why in this life we want to talk about that. And while I wait for my guests, I'm going to give some tips, right, and some expose on how or on the needs of your husband and the needs of your spouse. Now, men have certain emotional needs. Women also have certain emotional needs. Now, one of the emotional needs or the major emotional need of a woman is safety. Your wife wants to feel safe. Emotional safety is a very important emotional need of every wife. If you are a husband and you don't know how to make your wife feel safe, no matter what you do, your wife will not be happy. If you don't know how to make your wife feel safe, no matter what you provide, if you like, buy her houses, buy her cars, let her fly first class across the world. If she does not feel safe, she's not going to be happy. One of the major need of your wife is safety. One of the major need of your wife is safety. You must let your wife feel safe. You see, when your what love, the first thing love means to a woman is protection. If you really love your wife, you will protect her. Your wife wants to feel safe and your wife wants to feel protected. Now, what emotional need means for your wife is that you will not do anything intentionally to hurt her. You know, a lot of people may say, I'm a provider, I'm a provider. If all you provide for your wife is money, you are not a provider. As a man, the number one thing you provide for your wife is protection. Protection. Emotional protection, spiritual protection, physical protection, emotional protection. It's protection. Financial protection. Yes, when a woman is looking for money, what she's actually looking for is financial security, financial safety. For most women, safety is at the top of their emotional need. Most women want to feel safe. So when you say women like money, no, what they are looking for is not really money itself. What they are looking for is financial safety. A woman wants to financially secure. She wants to be spiritually secure. She wants to be emotionally safe. Now, if you are a husband and you have cracked this, you are a top tier husband. You are a top tier husband, right? If you want one of the biggest quality of a good husband is that you know how to make your wife feel safe. You know how to protect your wife. You will never do anything intentionally to hurt your wife. You are human, you will make mistakes once in a while, but you make up your mind that you will never do anything intentionally to hurt her. You will never do anything intentionally to hurt
Uh,
her. Hey! Our guest is here.
oh,
The professor himself.
yes, Dennis. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
How are you, sir? Very faint. It's very faint.
Okay. Maybe I think it's
I
the
think
the
it's your
device.
headset. It's very faint.
Yeah. Okay. Is it louder now?
No, no,
Is
it's
it
still
louder now?
faint. No, it's
Okay.
still faint.
Very faint.
E- Yeah, it's faint. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm not sure. Please, can you hear Coach Julius? If you can hear Coach Julius, can you let us know? Can you hear him? Maybe it's only for me.
Okay.
Destiny, please, can you hear Coach Julius? Joy, can you hear Coach Julius?
If you cannot hear me, maybe I will just speak directly. I will not use the mic. Okay. Is it better? Is it okay? Let's see. Yeah. Is it better now? It's still low. Okay. This is what we'll do. Let me see if I could disconnect the mic and speak directly. Yes, can you hear me? You can hear me better now. Okay. Okay, maybe it's the fan or something.
Okay, no problem. No problem. You can like standing full of knowledge is a wealth of knowledge, a reservoir, an unlimited reservoir of insight and knowledge.
I'm
And
on
today
this.
we want to talk about needs and wants, that can facilitate peace and joy in your marriage. So, Coach Julius, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prudence.
Your video is frozen. Destiny and Joy, can you see Coach Julius?
Okay, somebody says she can hear me.
Yes, they can hear you, but can they see you? I can't see you. Your screen is frozen from my hand.
Okay. But I can see you clearly here. I can see you moving like you're
All right, okay,
typing.
just go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Shoot.
All right. Are we set?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I know the topic of our conversation tonight is a very important one. No, nobody. Coach Dennis, can you hear me? I see you're straining your ears to hear me.
Yes, please go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So I said the topic that we're considering tonight is one that is of great essence for anybody, whether in a relationship, whether already in a marriage. So, by
Yeah.
the grace of God, my marriage is 17 years old, and that's just a short time.
Woo!
That's just a short time. But I can tell you the 17 years has been a 17 years of a lot of learning and relearning. Most of the time, we're excited about wedding so much that we don't care too much about marriage. But marriage is really the playing ground. Wedding is just an introduction. So, and whatever is going to happen in your marriage will always begin from the relationship, from the courtship, right? Even before you start any preliminaries for marriage, which is courtship. Courtship is preliminaries for marriage. So even before you get into courtship, even as friends, as acquaintances, you would already find one or two things that make this person needed for you. And there will also be some things that will make you want the person. There's a difference between the person you need and the person you want. And most of the time, you will find out that what we want normally dominates what we need. Because want, most of the time, speaks to attraction, but most of the time, needs speaks to necessity. So when we are talking about peace, there is what we call crowd fact, and there's what is called customized reality. That is what peace means to me is different from what peace means to Coach, simply
Yeah.
because we are two different persons, right? And because the environment where we grew up, our upbringing, our exposure, our knowledge contributes to who we are. That shapes
Yeah.
our perspective and that determines what we need and what we want. So, the home where you are raised, what you have seen in the home where you are raised, to a large extent, can form the basic structure of your need in marriage. Let's take, for instance, I never, all through my life, never saw my dad hit my mom.
Mm.
Never, never, never. So, absolutely, to a large extent, violence is not part of my script, no
Mm.
matter what happens, no matter what happens. So, you see, that's a value for me because of what I saw and how I grew up. And in marriage, to a large extent, a man needs peace. A man needs peace. And a man wants love.
Mm.
A woman one needs love, but she needs peace. And you see?
Mm.
So you see, a,
Yeah.
a need is something you can't do without. Needs are responsible for stability. Wants are enhancements. It's just like you want a faithful husband, you want a financially, stable, economically stable husband, but at the same time, you would want what? An adventurous man as well. You want to go on vacation, right? It's a desire,
Mm.
right? You would love to go on vacation, right? It's not compulsory, but if it comes, it will spice up the marriage, right? But you
Yeah.
need that man needs respect, that man needs peace, but he also wants love. Most of the time, they say a man needs respect, he wants peace. It's the man that must love the woman, right? What the woman wants, the woman is to respect the man is to love the woman. It is vice versa.
Mm.
So that's why I said there are crowd facts and there are customized reality. So crowd
Mm.
facts is the fact that what they say the man is to love, the woman is to respect. If you give a man respect and peace, you will keep him. I'm telling you, you would have a stable marriage, but it might be lifeless.
Mm.
It might be lifeless. At the same time, if a man has love, all the emotional love that he wants and everything like that, but there is no respect, right? There's no respect. To a large extent, that particular marriage or home will be unstable
Mm.
because needs talk about stability, security, because they are necessary. Now, the reason why I said that for you to enjoy peace, you must understand what exactly peace means to your partner. Don't take the crowd facts for it. There are elements of the crowd facts that is applicable to everybody. For me, let's take for instance, it took me 10 years to be able to sterilize what peace actually means for me and for my wife.
Mm.
After our 10th anniversary, I discovered that every time, most of the time, my wife wants to buy food in the evening. You understand? She wants us to eat out. And I grew up in a home where we eat fresh food, right? But all the while, I've been this kind of person that really does not want to put pressure on anybody. If I come home, there's no food, I can go to the kitchen. I can make any meal. That's how I was raised. I can make any meal. So my wife cannot do any shakada. Before they wake up in the morning, I've cooked. Sometimes I've done some of the chores before they even wake up in the morning. But I discovered that in the evening, most of the time when I go and I come back and she wants to eat out, I think of how much we spend when we eat out. And then I don't get the freshness I want. I don't get exactly what I want. If I drink Gary in my house, I'm more at peace than going out. eating out. I'm not used to it. Even when I was dating, I don't eat out. As my babe, when you come to the house and cook, everything you need to cook is at home. You have to come to that and cook, which is not normal in this generation. But for me, for a person like me, that's what being in that relationship means to me. If you really want to get to me, if you really want to stay, that is what it means to me. It might not be the same for other people, but if you want this guy, you need to know that this part of him, he doesn't joke with it. Are we together? So after I discovered that most of the time we are always quarreling. I don't. So when when the evening comes, you want to eat out. I don't want to eat out. Okay, go get for yourself and get for the kids. Forget about me. I'll be fine. Right? So we can satisfy. So
Yeah.
I sat down after 10 years. I sat down and I asked myself, why are we always quarreling about this evening food or anything like that? When as a my wife is a career person, I'm also very busy, right? Uh-huh. So I sat down. In fact, I went spiritual about it. I had to go on a 3 day fast. And I like, God, what's responsible for this? Now, why are we always quarreling over this issue? And I sat down in my car and something said to me, where did you grow up? I grew up in the north. I'm Yoruba. My wife is Igbo. She grew up in Lagos, right? And
Mm.
she grew up, she lost her mother early. So she was mostly, and she's the last born. I am first born. Can you see that now? So
Yeah.
I discovered that whenever when I sit down, when I was now ruminating over that issue, something said to me, where did you grow up? I said, I grew up in the north. He said, what exactly, how is life in the north? I said, it's slow. You can get anywhere anytime you want. He said, okay, how did you grow up? I said, this is how I grew up. That's me having a conversation with myself. And then, where did your wife grow up? She grew up in Lagos. Okay, how did she grow up? Most of the time, when she's coming back from work, because she's last born, and she has three boys ahead of her, and everybody is on their own. So she goes to work. When she's coming back, there's nobody to you don't have to cook for anybody or anything like that. So when she's coming back, she just grab some things on the road, and then like that, and she goes to bed like that. So, oh, this person has grown with with this kind of life in the last 10, 15, or 26 years. Hmm? She got married at 29, right? And I was 30, she was 29. So this person has lived this life for 29 years. And you now want to start changing that. That will be very difficult, right? So this is the reason, this is the difference in your perspectives, your upbringing, and how you grew up. And this is responsible for what? The lacuna and the quarrel you have always had. This is what is stealing your peace. So that means you've got to sit down and talk about it. Are we together? So that's why
Yeah.
in any home, it starts with conviction. Then we have connection. Then we have communication. Conviction, connection, communication, commitment. These four are like the four legs of a table that give
Mm.
stability in a home. Conviction is the fact that this person has 90, 80, 90% of what I would want. This person can supply my need, can provide my wants, right? The reason why I said it's customized reality is that you would not get everything. My marriage is 17 years old now, but we have not yet gotten everything right still. That's why when we talk about peace in a home, right, the ability to resolve conflict is very important.
Yes.
The tongue and the teeth live in the mouth. When the food is sweet, you bite your tongue. But when the tongue and the teeth settle, nobody knows. That's how marriage is. So the ability to resolve
Mm.
conflict will not be cheap. If you are looking for peace, then there must be conviction, first of all, that this person is my partner, this person is my wife, this person is my babe. You understand? You have come to a definite, reality that this is the person that you have chosen. This is the person that has 80% of your need, has what can provide what you want. Because You know very well why I talked about conviction is the fact that man is a triune being. You have your spirit,
Yeah.
you have your soul, and you have your body. So you see, the spiritual conviction is important. The soulish compatibility is important. There are about 7 levels of compatibility if you want peace in your home. 7 levels of compatibility if you want peace in your home, right? Will somebody check all these 7 levels of compatibility? No. If they are teachable, he will eventually check all the boxes. Then you now have physical attraction. Your physical attraction to a large extent can also be a very, very good wedge when there is a storm. If you're attracted
Yeah.
to somebody, it's easy to listen to the person. If you are convinced about someone, it's equally easy to listen. Now, one other critical um, requirement for a peaceful and a joyful home is communication. One of the things that we must understand is that how a man interprets things is different from how a woman interprets things. There is a way you are going to say something to a woman, and an analysis of what you have said can erupt chaos in that house.
Mm.
And there's a way in which a woman will say something that the man will interpret it. The way the man will interpret it can can initiate the process of a divorce. And that is the reason why I said compatibility is such a very important basement in a marriage. How compatible are we? And that's why I said there are 7 levels of compatibility. You will have spiritual compatibility, you will have economic compatibility, right?
Mm.
Because if there is no finance, romance is not easy, right?
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Romance needs finance, and finance equally wants romance. Romance needs finance. You know, we're talking about needs and wants, right? Romance needs finance. Finance wants romance. That's why it's possible for somebody to be financially stable but not married. He
Yeah.
will get, he will be attracted to he will be attractive to a lot of women, but it might not be the person they need.
Yes.
So that this is why finance wants romance, but romance needs finance. Eventually,
Mm.
you'll
Mm.
find out that economic compatibility is a necessity in any home. And that is why when a
Yes.
marriage is financially challenged, how we talk and how we support one another to a large extent can determine if there will be peace in that home or not. Now, exactly three, about 3 months after our second baby came, I lost my job.
Mm.
I lost my job. Now, we got married in 2009. In 2012, I lost my job. From the day, from when I started dating my wife up to tomorrow, I've never asked her, how much do you earn? What's your salary? But she knows everything
Wow.
about what I earn. Are we together? She knows
Yeah.
everything about my own finances and what I earn, but I've never asked her. And now, I've never asked her, not because I cannot ask, right? But when there is a need in the home, I do not need to ask or do anything. She takes care of it. I'm not, I am not a prodigal son, but at a point in my life, I was broke for like 5 to 8 years.
Wow.
I worked in the bank, right, for what, for 1 decade, for 10 years, right? I'm firstborn. I have 6 siblings. I'm responsible. I lost my dad 18 years ago. I'm responsible for my mom and my siblings. And since then, I've not had a relative send me a dime. Luckily, I'm married to a last born, not a firstborn like me. You know, if I'm married to a firstborn that has responsibility like me, you understand? That's another thing some people need to check. It can be an advantage, it can be a disadvantage.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. In fact, there's a
Yes.
research that established that if a firstborn marries a lastborn, that marriage will be much more stable than when a firstborn marries a firstborn. Because the responsibilities on their shoulders as Africans is going to be pulling them with a stretch on their harmony. So peace in a home is harmony. Harmony of ideas, harmony of thoughts, harmony of affection to a large extent. Are we together? So in 5 to 8 years of my being broke, my wife paid all the bills. All the
Wow.
bills. Pay school fees,
Wow.
pay house rent, pay, the feeding, everything like that. And sometimes she will even say, come, let's go, take me to a boutique and what? And buy me
Wow.
clothes. Do you understand? If we go out to eat
Wow.
to a restaurant, she will put the money in my hand to pay.
Wow.
These are little things that will compensate for the 20% that you might not have. You will not have 100%. But what are the things, are the needs that hold you and compensate for the 20% that is absent? What are the things? What are the things that if a man or a woman looks back to say, as far as this particular aspect is concerned, no, I give it to this person. It can enhance reconciliation, it can enhance communication, it can enhance connection. What is your own strength in that particular marriage? What are your weaknesses? Right? Can your weaknesses be covered by your strength? Can your strength support your weaknesses? Because stability will come from the ability of one person's strength to carry the other person's weakness in a way that it does not hurt the person and does not make the person also feel what? Entitled, or you're not ashamed of it. Do you understand? That is, if my strength, for instance, I can cook and do everything like that. All through this time that I was broke, I was not sitting down at home, I was still hustling. But things no there, life happens. Do you understand? When my wife will go to
Yes.
work, I bake the children, I wake up, I'll do the meal. Before she comes back, food is ready and all that. Right? But you see, where the challenge normally will come from is when one party begins to take the other person's strength for granted. The moment you begin to take the other person's strength for granted, you will find out that you are beginning to step on the tail of chaos. Now, in those moments, right, while I was broke, why I'm talking about this is that, like I said, that every romance needs finance, but finance wants
Yes.
romance. If at that point where you are broke as a man, do you understand? Even if
Yeah.
by sheer, maybe out of, it's not intentional, something unintentional happens. The way you will interpret it at that time is totally different from when things are normal. Imagine that you are broke and then your wife mistakenly used to serve you in broken plates, then serve you in rubber plates. It might not be intentional. But I tell you that you are going to start interpreting it that, is it because I'm not the one that uh, that uh, that gave the money for the meal? Is it because I can no longer fund the meal? That's why they have changed my plate. And it might have nothing to do with that at all. But
Yes.
because of circumstances and the way things are, you will interpret them differently. So if you don't have a connection and you don't have the ability to communicate in a way that the person understands, it will be difficult for you to explain that off because it is not the normal. It is just something that happened. But interpretation of what has happened, your response to that particular thing can jeopardize your peace. And the thing is this: if you are going to have a peaceful home, you must have an ocean of forgiveness. You must be tolerant, you must be forgiving, you must be understanding, you must be
Yes.
tolerant, very, very tolerant. You must be forgiving. Inability to forgive, what happens is that it stacks up bitterness. And the moment you're bitter about somebody, you cannot connect with that person even emotionally. You find out that conjugation will now become like a duty. And when it becomes a duty, it loses all its flair. Crowd facts is like they say they are love languages, right? Gary Chapman said that
Yeah.
there are five love languages. In some other texts, you have six, you have seven, right? But like I said, that's a crowd fact because if you say act of service, what type of service for this person? For one person, it might be doing chores. For another person, it might just be service, might be just sitting down while that person does the work, just being present while she does the work. Just being in the kitchen around is act of service for another person. But for another person is help me do this, help me do that. Are we together? Even if we look at it
Yes.
touch, if we say touch, for instance, as a crowd fact, you know, the customized reality is that it is not touching. Where to touch, when to touch, how to touch are personal, are personal. You see, they are personal. Are we together? Right? So
Yes.
all these love languages are crowd facts. But the truth is that the customized reality comes from our ability to connect with one another in openness, in sincerity,
Yes.
which comes from communication. And the
Yeah.
communication will come as a result of commitment. And that's why I said there'll be conviction, right? That you're ready to travel this lifelong journey with this person, right? And get to know the fact that what you cannot paddle or navigate marriage, a peaceful marriage, with a fixed mindset. It's not possible. There must be that visionary compatibility. We are going in the same direction. Our ambitions complement each other
Yeah.
such that we can stay in the same boat, right? The moment we are on separate boats, right, we are initiating division,
Yes.
silently initiating division, right? At the point in time, because I am a speaker and a facilitator, in my days of beginning, in my little beginnings, my wife used to accompany me to my speaking gigs. But at the point, because my speaking gigs, right, was not generating the kind of income that my wife was making, she stopped accompanying me
Okay.
much. And I began to take offense. So because I go to speak somewhere, they probably give me 20,000. And what is 20,000 compared to you that is earning 5 figures, 6 figures, right? And so it's a waste of time
Yeah.
accompanying me to those things. But it was an inspiration for me to find her sitting down while I'm speaking, right? So until we had to sit down and like, see, you might think that you being present here, you have wasted your time and nothing is coming from it. You don't know that it is a want for me, not a need, right? It's a want. Somebody will say, wants are things you can do without. It's not like that in marriage. You need to find out what the person needs. Somebody needs food, but he might want rice and pepper soup, not just food. Food is a need, but want is the preference. Are we together? So there's a very big
Yeah.
difference. So there's what the person needs, he cannot do without it. It brings stability and security to that marriage. There's what the person wants,
Yeah.
it's a motivation, it's an enhancer, right? It gives life to that particular thing. It gives life. We hear of so many marriages that the woman will say that you hear women complain that they have never reached orgasm before in their life. Why? Because there's no communication. And that's why I say, even though the crowd fact is what the love language is touch, but knowing how, when, where to touch can determine whether that woman will have orgasm. That
Yeah.
frustration, that frustration, that silent frustration, it looks like a want. That's why some people will say that, I mean, is sex food? It might, for some, it is a need. For some, it
Yeah.
is a want. But you can't neglect any of them. So every man every man needs a virtuous wife that has side chick vibes. Are we together? You want the
Yes.
side chick vibes, but you need a virtuous wife. If you have a virtuous wife that lacks the side chick vibes, you will have stability in that home, but there will be no life in that home.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
spice is gone. Now imagine where you have a virtuous wife who has side chick vibes. Whatever you can think that the side chick will do, she can do. At the same time, she
Yeah.
has what? She's a virtuous wife. So you see, to a large extent, you have built guardrails around your home.
Yes.
So you have stability and you have motivation. To a large extent, when this happens, there is harmony. When there is a conflict, how does this person react when he's angry? One of the things that many people don't check is that they are normally attracted by a lot of things that are peripheral, but there are silent things that are not visible. There are invisible qualities that you need to find out, like anger management. Some people, somebody like me, when I'm angry, I don't talk. But that silence can be killing some people.
Yes.
But what you need to find out is now, how do I get this guy to talk? Right? And some people say if you know it's Momo button, then you will get him to talk. But the moment I'm angry and you allow me at that point where I'm angry or when my voice start going up, you know that I'm angry. The best thing to do is to what? Let it go. Just allow me. So, but if you don't know that, the moment the person's voice is going up, you say, you're shouting. If you tell me that, you tell the man that you are shouting, some people just increase the volume. That's an insult to another man. But the moment you tell another man that you are shouting, he will just say, he will just look around and he will just pipe you. But if you tell another man that, why are you shouting? You know, honey, your voice is getting louder. It's a different thing from why are you shouting?
Yes.
You get it? You understand? So it's, the way a man
Yes.
will interpret that is different from the way a woman will interpret that. You understand?
Yes.
Honey, your voice is going up. Please, can we bring it down? Can you see? Even if you are insane, the prefix of the sentences will be coming you down. There are words. We say
Yes.
a soft answer turns away what? Wrath. It's not what you say, but how you said what you said can determine
Yes.
the level of response and feedback you will get. So in a home, the basics are inevitable, but you cannot also neglect the wants. The wants are things
Yes.
you can do without, but you can't take it out. Once in a while, somebody say, if you want a happy home, once in a while you eat out. What if you cannot fund it? But somebody else will say, no, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could just be strolling out and buying banana. The fact that you work together out to buy the banana, it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to a large extent, some people say that's expensive. It's a want. We can do without it. Right? What you need is there is food at home. Isn't it? But that weekly outing, some people wake up in the morning. hmm, How you greet your husband can determine to a large extent can make him happy or sad. Or sad. Some people wake up in the morning, they hit their husband on the head. It doesn't mean anything to them. It's the level of friendship that you have created over time. And as you grow, your needs will change, your wants will change.
Yes.
For instance, for instance, now, if I turn this camera and show you my table, you see books everywhere. You will see books everywhere. But every time my wife will pack it, I say, yeah, I've arranged this place again. You have scattered it. Do you understand? So you know that this guy read
Yes.
books. He can be if you get to my toilet, you'll find a book. Or on my bed, you'll find a book there. So you just know that this is this guy's life. Now, if you now want to now start confining me to don't keep your book here, don't do this. You understand? It doesn't take so much. Yes. Destiny said it doesn't take so much to be kind when you have love. Very true. So that's knowing the peculiarities, the invisible qualities of a person is important to the peace that you enjoy. The
Mm.
invisible qualities, things you cannot, things they don't show, things that are not obvious. When they are quiet, what is going on? Can you say the reason? This is the reason why this person is quiet.
Yeah.
My wife does not talk too much. She can be very playful. But when she's angry,
Mm.
even the home will know that she's angry. Even the kids will know that she's angry. Mom is not talking. One sentence, one syllable. How are you? Fine. What is happening? Yes, no, like that. You know that something is wrong. So you now have to now find a way of going about it. You now start cracking jokes. You say things that will make her laugh. The moment she starts laughing, then you can now break the ice. Are you angry? What is this? So you cannot stop learning one another. As you grow, your
Yes.
needs will be changing, your wants will be changing. What I love, what I
Yeah.
used to like when the marriage was 1 or 2 years is different. I could be very temperamental in the beginning. When I get angry, I will just drive out. So one day like that, I was very angry. I wanted to drive out. So I now thought to myself, I said, if I drive out like this in this anger and I get an accident, it is this same woman they are going to call. Guy, why
Mm.
don't you sit down and talk about this thing? I never knew that confrontation can be a step for peaceful resolution of conflict until
Mm.
about 10 years. In fact, after 10 years in my marriage, I learned a lot of things. A lot of things.
Mm.
I didn't learn that confrontation was a way of dealing with issues. When somebody does something and it hurts me, I'll just keep quiet. You understand? I'll just keep quiet and be stopping them and be stopping them. Meanwhile, I'm angry. But I don't because
Mm.
I'm avoiding confrontation. I'm not happy. But I learned that if you confront the issue, this thing you did is not okay. I don't like it. Right? Let's take for instance, you'll be provoked. You'll be provoked. One thing that you can't take away that you'll be provoked. You'll be
Mm.
provoked. You will provoke your wife to provoke you. So you need patience. Now let me
Yes.
tell you something.
So,
Something
so
that
you mentioned a number of things: patience, tolerance,
yes, forgiveness.
forgiveness. Yeah.
Forgive. Yes.
So we have about 5 minutes more to go.
Okay.
Um, I wanted to ask a question
Go ahead, please.
about so for a couple that they've almost messed up their marriage and the marriage is already in crisis, their needs have not been met, expectations have not been met, and all of that. What are
Mhm.
the practical steps they can take? And just I want you to answer it in 5 minutes. What are the practical steps they can take to bounce back? To revive their marriage quickly.
The marriage is already in crisis. At what level of crisis?
Yeah, like
What level of
crisis to the
crisis?
point that at the verge of divorce.
Mhm.
Someone asked that question.
Okay. Now, the question you need to ask is what is precipitating the crisis? We need
Mm,
openness from the both of them. We need openness from the both of them.
mm,
There needs to be openness. It's like carrying a plain sheet of paper and giving to the two of them. Write down all the things that you don't
mm,
like, that is making you angry, that you want to leave this marriage. Just write it down. They may not be able to say
mm.
it to one another. That's a therapy on its own.
Yes.
You give the two of them two plain sheets of paper and tell them, write the things that are not that makes you disinterested. You feel that you guys cannot carry on again. You see, divorce is never what couples planned. It is what the enemy force.
Mm,
Divorce is a divided force. And the force might not
mm,
just be the devil. The devil
mm,
might be an attitude. The devil might be a particular thing that is not been forgiven.
mm.
Let me give you an instance. Every time my daughter is 16, and when I come back home, I will when I ask for food at the point, my wife will say, "Oh, my daughter should go and give me food. Go and serve me food." I didn't see it as anything. She's growing up. But at the point I said, why is that every time I come home and I ask for food, you tell my daughter to go and give me food? I don't like that. And the next thing my wife said was, you should even thank God that it's even your daughter. It's not a maid. How many people do you think will take that lightly? That's a terrible insult. But I had I just swallowed it. But it was good enough for me to say, has it come to this extent? What happened? What would necessitate that kind of response to me? Not be still finished with that. But you see, whatever it is that you focus on will expand.
Yes.
The moment you keep seeing the negative thing, it will be growing. The devil will be amplifying it. Your mind will be over processing it. And that's the reason why I said initially that are there things that you can hold on to and say, if it is this one, I give it to her. Can this strength compensate for the weakness that I hate so much? And you see, sir, before this crisis get to this extent, eh, the emotions have dried up. Ask them what is the state of their conjugation. Their emotions is in shambles. Two people can be living under the same roof, but they are separated. Many people undervalue the place of intimacy in marriage.
Yeah.
Undervalue the place of it. I'm telling you, no matter what is going on between a man and a woman, if there is intimacy, it will be crashing the crisis. Sex it's a heavy palliative in chaos. It's a heavy palliative. So the moment the emotions are driving, that's why I say, see, people say emotion does not matter in a man. It's a want, but you can't neglect that want. It might not be a priority for somebody else, but it is a want that cannot be neglected. Number
Okay.
two, find out the state of what their finances. Both parties may be financially stable, but in terms of financial stability does not equal taking responsibility. There are things that your financial stability can handle that you take up as a man to do. No matter how much a woman earns, the little you give to her, she appreciates it more than what you earn. You don't say because the woman is financially stable, you ignore what you're supposed to do as a man. Even though we know very well that what we share responsibility. Are we together? So if you are neglecting, if
Yeah.
a man or a woman is neglecting a responsibility in all the dimensions possible, there will be crisis. Even if one person has wronged the other person, the first thing to do is to look into the mirror first. How have I contributed to this? Even in the case of infidelity, three things necessitate infidelity: anonymity, availability, affordability. Anonymity, availability, affordability. They will necessitate infidelity.
Affordability. You say affordability.
Yes, affordability, you can afford it. It's anonymous
Okay.
and it's available. Are we together? Are you getting it? If those three things are present,
Yes.
you understand? On the part of the man, it's easy. On the part of the woman, it's easy. How have I contributed to this? So don't look at it, don't look at the offense. First of all, find out. He said, until you are able to remove the speck in your own eyes, you cannot remove the log in another person's eye because you are
Yeah.
partially blind to see the log in another person's eye. So it begins with me. The big question is to ask when they list what they don't like, this is what he's doing. This is the one thing that cannot make me go back to this marriage. I'm tired. This is one thing that cannot make me go back. Then you now ask the question, how? Think, have I in any way contributed to this? Can you see that now? So when you
Yeah.
get to that stage where you know where you contributed to this, the next question is, am I ready to take steps not to allow this happen again? Before you come to what can I do? There's a time my wife used to say Mr. Falabi, you're not pampering me. She said, I'm not
Thank you.
pampering her. I will say, what is your own definition of pampering? Because I help you, I do this, I do that. Before, what is your own definition of pampering? So I might be doing something, but not the way she wants. And that could be clashing a connection to me. So you see, so the thing that caused the crisis, there is a root cause. You need to find out what that is. And there could be several. There could be several. That's why listing out those things you don't want, number one, helps you to pour out your mind. It's a big
Yeah.
relief. Then the question of how did I contribute to this now brings responsibility. So the
Yeah.
moment we have clarity of the cause of crisis and we have responsibility of participation, reconciliation becomes negotiable. Can you see that now?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You get it? When you have clarity of the
Yes.
cause of crisis and you have what? The responsibility of participation in the cause, then reconciliation becomes negotiable. Most of the times, crises don't just come from one side.
Yeah.
Everybody played a role. Somebody tell you you are crazy, and then you now said, am I really crazy? You start processing it. You over process it to an extent that you raise your hand. By the time you raise your hand, everybody will forget what the person said and now come to you. Say, even if she did like this, there's a way you would have handled it. We always expect men to be mature, but women also need to be careful. So the fact that somebody is mature doesn't mean that you take the person for granted. You will push the person to the wall. Are we together? So if they are on the verge of
Yes.
divorce, number one, that can necessitate a quick step out of the marriage is that is there a compensation outside? This person getting what is not available inside outside? That's what you have to find out.
Mm,
It's very easy for a man if you find compensation, it's cheap for him to what want to step out. You know, when a man's peace is troubled, he doesn't care what the woman has. He's ready to go and start from the beginning.
mm,
He will say, take everything. If it's all the money that if it's the money, I'm ready to walk away from the money and go and start my life back. And then another thing is stepping out is not a complete solution. It's not a complete solution because divorce is like amputation. A part of you is amputated and you are part of it. So you see,
mm.
so when you go out, there is no how that scar will also trouble the next place. You cannot be whole somewhere and move, break the wholeness and be whole another place.
Yes.
It's like grafting. You cut one part of the skin and cover the other side. They are different. There will be difference now. So it's not complete. So we must try as much as possible not to extend the frustration. When there is crisis, the
Yeah.
first stage is to find out what is the root cause, what is causing this, right? If you ask two people that want to divorce, do you love each
Yes.
other? Yes. But do they understand each other? They don't understand each other. They may understand each other from the beginning. But if you are growing and your spouse is not growing, your level of reasoning, the gap in thinking widens. So you will
Yeah.
be talking right, the person will be talking left. So compatibility has gone. So you now find out that
Wow.
you are just,
Wow. Wow.
yes,
Mr. Julius, it seems that we are going to have a part two of this conversation because this conversation is so loaded. It's so loaded. We must do another part two of this. I'll call you tomorrow morning. I'll discuss how we can have part two. When are you coming to Abuja?
uh,
When else are
I
you coming to
can't say
Abuja?
the first quarter of the year, I plan to be in Abuja.
If anytime you are going to come to Abuja, we are going to enter studio. Either me, I come to Abuja, or I come to Uyo. We must enter studio to record a podcast, solid podcast. Because
I'm
this
available
wisdom,
anytime.
I don't know why you're not a marriage counselor. You're
No,
supposed to be a marriage counselor.
no, I have written some one or two books about marriage and relationship, but then so that's just it.
Awesome.
I do a lot of
Awesome.
counseling for young people that are about to get married. So basically, we come up
Oh,
one
okay.
mentees when they are ready to get married,
Oh,
and they come around and we just sit to talk about it and all that. And I've seen the one that did not work.
so if anybody wants to reach out to you now, can they reach out to you for paid counseling? I mean, people that are
Why
going
not?
to be on this live now, right? Okay. Please, how can they reach out to you? How can you reach out to you? Can you share your easiest contact?
My easiest contact is my WhatsApp. That's the easiest contact I can
Okay,
get.
all
My
right.
WhatsApp. Yes, and I'm sure
Okay.
you have my WhatsApp number, so you can and let them have
Please
the
share
WhatsApp.
it with us so that people that can watch it can hear. What's your WhatsApp
Okay.
contact? So if you want to
Oh,
reach out to Mr. Julius is an executive coach, right? His strength is that it can help you earn more, like earn premium, right? He's one of the people that has helped me this year to scale what I'm doing, and I can recommend Coach Julius any day and anytime. Please, if you need help with your business, with your life, with your marriage, you want someone that is trusted, experienced, that can coach you, that can help you scale, bring out the best in you. Please, Mr. Julius is the best to go person. Mr. Julius, can you talk shortly about your programs that you're running? You know,
Okay.
those your
Um,
programs.
yes, my flagship program is designing your own economy. We all know very
Yeah.
well is that we live in an economy or an environment that is not that does not put us in control. So I help people move from reactive income model to a proactive wealth building. That's to say that instead of you waiting for salary, waiting for promotion, and the rest of them. How can I turn my resourcefulness into a premium package? What is it that makes the same thing that you're doing, the same thing somebody is doing for 5K, another person is doing it for 500K, and you pay without looking back? How do you customize these things that you do? Whatever you do, whether you have a 9 to 5 or you do business, how else can you do that business in a way to attract premium clients where you don't have to do twice as much but earn twice as much? You understand? So I help you to move from reactive income model to proactive wealth building. That's how to design your economy. And it's just in about 5 different steps that you can take. It's easy, it's fun, and it's something that has helped a lot of people. So that's the flagship program. From the flagship program, then you can now move into the mastermind and the other level, the core and the premium version of designing your own economy. So that
Okay.
is
Please, can you call
flagship.
your WhatsApp number again for people to hear? Your WhatsApp
Okay,
number, so for those that want to reach out.
okay, 080 32 62 6555.
Okay. So for international audience, please, if you want to reach out, Mr. Julius is based in Nigeria, so it's plus
4.
234 plus 234. Then the number he has mentioned. I can recommend Mr. Julius any day, anytime. He's a custodian of wisdom, insights, and knowledge, right? And I'm not even trying to flatter him, it's the truth. All right. We are going to bring Mr. Julius again to continue this conversation, and I trust that you've gotten value. So this video is going to be on this channel. You can always come back to listen to it and glean from the knowledge that has been shared. But if you've not subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Mr. Julius's channel also. And we are going to continue next week, all right? And until we come with the next episode, have a fantastic day or eight. For those that are still you are still at night, have a fantastic night. For those who are still your day, have a fantastic day. Destiny, I see you. Joy, I see you. Precious, I see you. God bless you all. Mr. Julius, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very
Thank you
grateful.
very much.
I
Thank you
celebrate you.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you for this
Bye
time.
bye.
All right.
Yeah, bye.